we are live. Give me 1 second to switch over. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name's Alckemy. Welcome to the channel. Today, I am joined by my dear friend. We've known each other for a decade now. G-Space, Grady, how are you, brother?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on, man.
Man,
What a time.
I've told you this on text, but you are welcome to the channel anytime. I am thrilled to have you on here. It's long overdue. Most of my viewers know who you are, but for anybody that doesn't, do you just kind of want to give yourself a brief introduction about like your kind of music and about like where you come from and all that other stuff?
Yeah, sure. So I'm from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. I grew up playing piano, just teaching myself. I guess since I was like a baby, I was just playing on keyboards. My parents are cool. They would support me getting like a new keyboard every so often, and uh, started making beats on like a Yamaha when I was like 7 maybe, because they used to have like you could record 5 tracks on them. They probably still have it,
Dude,
and I would just
was
do
that
like
the Yamaha
drums.
that had like the DJ mode that was like, "Huh,
Yeah, exactly.
come on."
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah. It was
gosh,
like
I
a
can't believe you had that. That's so funny.
dude. I bet I was killing it because like you could only make 5 songs and 5 tracks each, and I would just have to re-record over them over and over. But I bet I made like really cool beats back then because those are so fun.
Yeah.
But that was my whole introduction into like making beats. And like I guess like technically it was when my mom showed me how to do like a 4/4 beat on a drum kit because we were at our neighbor's house and he had a drum set. So like my mom kind of cracked the code, I guess, probably first of like, yeah, this is a kick, snare, hi hat. This is how to make a beat.
That's crazy.
And then I found out you can do that on the keys with like hi hats on different keys and snares, etc.
Is there
So
is there anything that you do like from way back then that you kind of like carry into your production now?
it's funny you say that. I just found like I just used that old Yamaha the other day. It's still at my dad's house and it's a little busted, but there's some keys that still work. And I was like sampling some sounds from it
Oh my
into
gosh.
Ableton with like a sound interface. I actually so this is what's the next part of the story. When I was like 12, I didn't realize like what I was asking my mom is like, how can I save these songs I'm making? Like, is there a way to like plug my keyboard into a computer and I could save the songs? And that was the plan. And she was like, I don't know, and just asked people at like the Apple store, and they're like, he should get a MIDI cable and a Mac and just like produce with Logic. And that shout out whoever told my mom that, because she was like, and my mom was able to like afford to do that. She's so cool.
Hmm.
Um, it literally I was like, Mom, this is not what I meant at all. Like, I just wanted to save like
Yeah.
my keyboard songs. I guess what I needed was a sound interface, like or something. But then it blew my mind because I tried GarageBand first, and I was like, oh, you can just control these instruments. And then I was kind of intimidated by Logic. And then like, yeah, I remember my friend Mo was like, dude, like just do it. And yeah, I was producing Logic by 12 or something, or probably by like 14, but like I was like GarageBand at 12, I guess.
That's so
And
crazy.
then yeah, and started like I don't know, just hearing like dubstep around when I was 16, like bass wobbles, because before that I just liked like rap beats pretty much, like A Milli by Lil Wayne changed my life. Like that was the first 808 I heard, that shake the car or something, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that was like the beginning of my obsession with like electronic music production, I guess. And but I've still made stuff like I did on that old Yamaha like this whole time, just
Hmm.
layering like sounds and melodies and chords and stuff. Because I'm piano's really just like my main passion. My first music gig, I was just improvising at piano bars around that time too, like
Damn.
in high school.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's a little bit about me. But then throughout all this time, I or at least around like when I was 12, I started to get obsessed with trying to learn how to backflip on a trampoline, and saw and it was actually from seeing like a commercial on TV for professional wrestling,
Hmm.
for TNA wrestling, and like this dude AJ Styles did like a backflip going forward, a gainer, and then like a front flip 360, and I was like, that's even possible. So it's hilarious. A wrestling commercial got me into flips and shit, and then I eventually learned some on the trampoline, and then that's around the time that I learned about tricking, which is martial arts gymnastics and flips, and then started to going to tricking gatherings, and that's how me and yourself met. So
Yeah.
the rest is history.
Yeah. So I think it was 2014 in Colorado, and it might have been 2015. I think it was 2015 because I think that you and I met when I came to Colorado with Isaiah. I think it was Rocky Mountain Gathering, and we stayed at Jimmy's house, and she had that bootleg little piano, and we were messing around with sounds and stuff, and kind of just exchanging
Trying to
tips.
pull up the chat, and then this ad started playing. Sorry.
Yeah, no, no worries. But yeah, so I keep telling people about this experience that I had, but we were playing beats on the way to the, I don't know if you remember or not, but it was like this crazy hot spring with like, it was like a mansion on the side of a mountain, and we go in and then we like pay or whatever, but then we go down into like the basement or whatever that led into the hot springs. Do you remember that? I think we were also with Malcolm, with Ricardo.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was one of my favorite like memories for sure. Like well, it's one of the only times I've done that thing. I think it was my first time doing anything like that.
Me too. I've never done anything like that. I think Ashley was with us too. She might have gotten us
Yeah.
all in because I don't even think that we had to pay or something. We just kind of were there. That was such a
Yeah, that was
fun
crazy.
experience, man. You know, Malcolm lives out here now.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah, he's doing
Nice.
Awakening for the show. But he's a freaking, he's still doing like Gumby double backs at the gym and stuff. So he's insane.
What? He's so good.
Yeah, yeah, still doing like dub swing dump, and actually like something that I find that's even more interest, like not even more interesting, but we met as trickers and stuff, and I guess we were both kind of doing the music thing at the same time. But like, dude, you're
Yeah.
really fucking good at tricks, and I don't know if
Thanks, man.
people,
You too.
no, 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 I don't know if people know how good you actually are. Because I know that like you do flips on stage and stuff, but like I know that you're doing like maybe corks and gainers and stuff, but you have crazy fucking skills. Um,
Yeah, thanks, man.
do you have
Um,
do you have any samplers or anything that actually that might even be cool to pull up? But do you have any samplers like with your music or anything of for one
Thinking
anything
about it
recent
right
or
now.
anything that you might want to share? Because I'll put that in the description.
Yeah, here. I'll just send this one from 7 years ago because honestly, I've fallen off. I'm a washed up athlete now.
Oh man.
But no, this one's good.
I'm still
Um,
I'm still training like 4 days a week, but I'm also washed up. We're old now.
yeah. I just like I've had a lot of like small injuries over the years, and I've had physical therapy. But like I just haven't been able to like I don't know get better or like get to full health again, and like where I don't get like small little injuries all the time, like just things, weird things like the back of my like neck shoulder area or like my oblique or this new one last summer. I fell off like a rock wall, like just bouldering. It wasn't even that high, but like for some reason the way I landed, it kind of hurt like something in my lower back or spine. I gotta figure that one out. It's just life's crazy.
Yeah, man. I'm
But
so sorry to hear.
yeah, no, it's okay. But yeah, no, I love tricking so much. I wish I could just like do it like I used to all the time. But yeah,
Same.
I'll just do flips here and there though. Yeah, like corks, gainers. Scott Browder and I had a session recently, like or like last summer.
Hmm.
Um, and I did a cart double full on grass. I felt great. He was like getting me all hyped, and I was doing some combos and stuff.
Sick, man.
But
That's awesome.
yeah,
It seems like Scott is improving with his health too, because I know that he had his back thing
yeah,
or whatever. But I've been watching him on Instagram, and he's doing like double fulls and stuff on grass too, right?
He motivated me.
Yeah, yeah. He's super cool. That was the first time that I met him, which actually was the next thing that I wanted to talk about. Like something that I absolutely adore about you, and like totally would always be the first person to like put you on a pedestal for, is this feat that you put on in, what was it, 2012? For one, it was one of the kindest things that anybody has ever done, especially for me. But two, you threw this event called the Circus of Life gathering where you had your friends that were DJ friends. It wasn't even just them. So you brought in your DJ homies, you brought in your tricking friends that produce music, and then you brought in your tricking friends, and you had this 3-day event where all these people were playing. Rusco was there. I know that some other big heads were there. Sorry if I'm drawing blanks and stuff. You played a really big show on the first night, I believe, and it was 3 days of tricks and people playing music, and just like a nonstop festival over in Albany. And that was one of the coolest things. That was the only festival that I've ever been to, but you made it so memorable. Like how the fuck did you do that?
Yeah, Galaxy Gathering. That was my like dream for a while to have a tricking music festival combined with a like yeah the whole a tricking gathering combined with a music festival. And so my friend Spencer, shout out Spencer from For Life Entertainment. He throws huge events all the way from like camping music festivals to building stages for like Cardi B or something here, or he's done LED walls for Tipper. He just has a lot of equipment and has an awesome team, and they were the ones that reached out to me because Spencer has known me for a while. He used to just be like way smaller promoter. He booked G Space for one of his first ever shows, or one of my first shows.
Mm.
Because G Space, I didn't start calling myself G Space till 2012. It was my dad's idea. I was like, what should I put all these beats out under as? And he's like, I'm feeling it from the universe, G Space. It's always been about Grateful Dead and drums in space and
Sick.
G for Grady. And so I just rolled with that. But yeah, so like Spencer booked me for one of my first shows, like a couple of years after that. He only had like a light and a fog machine, and we were at this like dive bar. And then now it's just so cool to see how far he's come. He has like just so much gear. And yeah, he knew that I loved tricking. He actually ended up meeting Justin Carney too.
Oh,
'Cause they
really?
kind of lived close to each other. Yeah. And
Oh, cool.
or I think I linked them up because they needed some like equipment for Justin's gathering, Battle of Fury. So so he's known that like me and Justin Carney like love music and love tricking, and then he hit me up once about he's like, hey man, I really want to partner with someone, and you're the first person I thought of to do like that tricking music festival thing. And yeah, and Justin brought the floor and everything. And so like Spencer's idea was, he's like, I already threw this festival called Circus of Life last year, and we got like circus acts and music and stuff. And he's like, I think that would just go perfect if you threw Galaxy Gathering at Circus of Life. So that's why it was called the Circus of Life Galaxy Gathering.
Oh,
But
got it.
yeah, shout out to Spencer for that, and Justin Carney for bringing the floor, and then Scott Browder really pushing me to like be like, dude, we got to get everyone there, and like and sending out invites and kind of like stirring up the community and spreading the word to get people actually hyped to go. And like,
Yeah.
and then like yeah, I was so lucky to be in a place where I could afford to get people up there and stuff, and it seems like everyone had a good time. It was awesome.
Man, I can only speak for
Yeah.
myself, but like I had an
Yeah.
incredible time, and I got to meet all of
Oh
your
yeah.
friends. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, like the tricking community, you and I, you know what I mean? You and I know everybody, but when it comes to like I met Jeff, Silly Sounds, I met your cousin, Finette, who's super cool.
Yep.
Yeah, just a ton of people, and everybody was just all kind of on the same page the whole time, and just like, hey, how's it going? It's really fucking chill, and
Yeah.
we're all just kind of here existing at once, and don't worry about anything. It just here, let's go get this fucking iced coffee, and it was so cool, man. And
Yeah, dude, right? It felt like a dream, and even though it's crazy running an event because the unexpected things can always happen, and you have to like it's like I expected to be working the entire time,
hmm
which I was in many ways, but I was also having the time of my life as I was working the whole time. That was so great.
that's
So I had a blast too.
I'm really glad to hear you say that because I actually haven't even had your take on that. We hadn't really
Yeah.
talked a whole lot since that event, and you know, I wanted to make sure that you were able to, or I wanted to have some peace in knowing that like you were able to, you know, find joy in that too. You know, because like I guess what's the point of throwing an event if you can't enjoy it yourself at all? Um,
All right, it's a sacrifice, right? But
yeah,
yeah, I was surprised that I actually was able to have so much fun. I was having a blast. Like, yeah, and yeah, there's so much potential there. I'm happy it happened, and
right.
it's a proof of concept that we could do it at other events around the world. Like, I want to bring Galaxy Gathering to the stars.
Yeah, man. Well, it's also cool too, cause like there's a bunch of trickers that I've actually seen since that event. So I've seen Will Coney's since, I've seen Ethan Turner since. Shout out to
Hell
both of
yeah.
them. They came to I DJ the Adrenaline Gathering and or
Mhm.
the Adrenaline event or whatever. So you know they all came back and we were kind of just reminiscing over like that time and talking about like there's not a single person that I talked to that was like I didn't have a good time. Fuck,
Yeah,
man,
nice.
you brought Phil Gibbs out. Like, that's
I know.
dude, Phil. Shout out to Phil if he watches this, man. I had such a good conversation with him,
Yeah, and Sarah
and
was
Sarah
crazy.
Musk,
We had
yeah,
international athletes at the function. It's so cool.
yeah, man. Like that's so cool that you made that come together. Dude. I
I
have
mean,
nothing but
that was
respect for you.
the big thing with that too was like they came in for Justin's gathering too. So having like Galaxy Gathering after Battle of Fury was perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you brought
It was
Jaime
so
too. Jaime showed up, man.
Oh yeah, of course. And he's like in one of the only other like all the Tricker producers I knew I tried to get there, you know. And
hmm
he's been a huge inspiration. He's been making beats like probably before me, like insane.
Yeah, he's been in the game a long time, and
Yeah.
it's cool. I have
And Isaiah from Loop Kicks, like just crazy shit.
Yeah, I hadn't kept in touch with him, but I did keep in touch with Steve Rogers, and we hit each other up from time to time, and you
Oh,
know,
nice. Yeah.
yeah, and he's still doing cooking and stuff, and he recently had an injury, but I just think that like the Tricker producer community, like I really just want to highlight that for a second because like that is such a unique thing that I don't really. Yo, thanks. I appreciate it, Levi. What's it called? It's so fucking cool to like kind of have that little community, you know what I mean? And I don't mean that as in like an elitist thing, but just as a means of like we all share that. You know what I mean? Because like I feel like if you're a tricker and you produce music, or even if it's the opposite to where you start producing music but then you get into tricking, it's like your relationship with music totally transforms into something way different. And at least for me, you know, like the reason why I got into the beats that I do, and you know, we were talking about She and stuff earlier, was because to me that was like tricking music for me. But it's so different thinking about making beats to like do flips to versus beats to like make a dance floor move, you know?
Really cool. That like when I first found out about tricking, it's like I went to an open gym on Cape Cod because this kid I met at a summer camp invited me because he saw me and my friends trying to do backflips off of picnic tables and stuff. And he's like, "Yo,
Mm,
you got to start tricking and like come to open gym this Sunday."
yeah.
That's where I met NDR too,
Yeah.
and and it was just funny how like music has always been intertwined so hard with sessions. It's like they're just playing like super loud music of all genres, like from metal to rap beats and just like tricking and like and it's always been like two worlds I want to bring together because I really think like tricking is one of the most magical like things I've ever seen just cuz like I've traveled the world just to go to tricking gatherings and we all have this respect for one another cuz
Right.
like even if we don't speak the same language or like it's just the love of tricking has brought people together and that's on some like world peace vibes, you know? And
Yeah.
same with music. I'm always preaching like music for world peace, anti-war, and I was just like, damn, these two worlds need to collide. And that was kind of the main reason I did the Galaxy Gathering music festival, because just seeing like people's reactions to tricking for the first time was so cool, and some of them even kind of tried to trick a little bit too. It's
Yeah.
hilarious. But like, and since then, people have reached out that were there, like, hey, are there any trickers I could hire for my event? Like, and
Ah, that's
like
incredible.
in DC or something. And I was like, oh, you should hit up like Will Coney's or something, you know? It's like, so
Yeah.
like it's kind of cool that there's been ripples I've seen from that. It's cool.
Yeah, and you're most likely going to continue hearing about that like as the years continue to go by, you know.
Yeah.
And that's why I say like I don't know, I see the impact of it and I see how much it means to both a tricker and a producer. I hope that
Hmm.
other people get a chance to see that stuff too, but you know, I know that this event was 2 years ago, but I just had to bring it up because of how impactful that was, both on my life for somebody that makes music and then also somebody that is part of the tricking community.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, and I was gonna say too, like one of the coolest things about being a tricker that's also into music is like being excited to. You ever get excited to show up to a gathering to like show off a new tune, whether it's yours or like someone else's, and you're like, this is gonna fucking set the session off. Like, check out this new,
Exactly.
yeah, like you don't. I don't know. I guess other people do that, but that's just like an exclusive thing. I feel to tricking that like brings a whole new element to like empower people, I guess. I think that's the way to describe it.
And now that I'm thinking about it, I've found so many beats from like the tricking sessions, and like even tricking videos online and samplers, like
Right?
so many
Yeah.
songs and beats. Like I find myself DMing the homies all the time, like, dude, what beat is this? I want to drop this, and it's like one of their like tricking clips online.
Yeah, and that happens all the time out here in Vegas because we have three different, or I guess like, yeah, we have three different groups at our gym. We have the trickers, we have the aerialists, and then we have the b-boys slash breakers. And everybody's usually playing something different, and the gym is big enough that it can support three different, excuse me, speakers and stuff. But sometimes the b-boys are playing some break stuff that I'm just like, whoa, I gotta walk over there and be like, what are you all listening to? And you know, part of me is like, man, I want to make something like that. And then sometimes
Yeah.
the aerialists are playing something that I've never heard that I'm like, wow, this is really like, it's usually more contemporary stuff, but it's still, there's still an appreciation for it. Real quick before we go on, my buddy Levi, Phantom Crane Fly says, G Space, saw you at Gym and Jam, man, fun set, brother.
Oh yeah, that's so cool. Thanks so much. That was like that was so beautiful. It's my first time at Gem and Jam Fest, and glad I got to have the piano while I was DJing too. That was fun.
Oh really, do you want to tell us a bit about that, or when was
Yeah.
it?
So like yeah, I used to play piano at bars, and I a lot of my music you can hear me playing the keys and whatnot, and but like most of my G Space gigs have been DJ sets, like, and just me and CDJs for years. But I always had a vision to bring the instruments back up. I tried to do it at first, like when I was first starting to get gigs, but like traveling with a keyboard, like I had a guitar that was a little bit more portable, but that broke on an airplane once, and then I was just like, all right, this is a mess. But I also wanted to level up my DJing and production skills too, so I was just like I went down like the dark bass saga. Like I don't know if
Yeah,
that's a good way to,
come
but that's
on
what
over.
NDR used to call it. He's like, dude, go back to the old G space, like when you're all melodic. Now you're like going through this like dark bass dubstep trap saga. It's so funny. But no, yeah. So now I have this awesome manager. Shout out Jonathan. He is the first person to like make G Space Live happen. And all that is I'm still doing a DJ set, but he's convinced promoters to also rent a keyboard for me and an electric guitar,
Oh, cool.
as well as CDJs. And I've never had anyone make that happen for me. So shout out to him. So that's been starting to happen a lot the last year. We probably did like 60 G Space Live shows, and it was around an album, which I've never done. I've never like toured off an album. Like it was just cool. He made a lot happen for me last year.
So you beat me.
Um,
You beat me to it. But that's where I wanted to head. For one, before like I do want to talk about all that and Also, everybody, if you get the chance, I have his information in the description. So if you want to check out his music or look at the shows that he's playing next, I believe that you told me that you're playing OKC and then Philly next, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so this Friday I'm playing Oklahoma City, and then Philly Saturday. If anyone wants to come through, San Francisco next weekend.
Let's go.
But yeah, yeah, I got a bunch of cities coming up. They're all on gspacemusic.com.
Yeah, I really appreciate you kind of like making time for me on a whim. We actually got back in contact last night because I went and saw Chi and he was in town and I got a chance to meet him. Shout out to Lee.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's
lovely.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still in town or not, but yeah, but he, took the time to, shake my hand and meet me and have a nice conversation with me. And we walked up to Disco Pussy and in the back, I saw your name on the wall and I was like, I gotta fucking call you. Or send you a picture or something, you know what I mean? And just be like,
Yeah.
yo. And that was really cool. And I know that you all know each other really well and have had a lot of crazy experiences. So I think like the thing that's so beautiful to me is like how small the world really is and like how connected we all really are, because I talk about him a lot on the channel. Sorry, this is just a small tangent, but I talk about him a lot on the channel because
You
of
could
how
talk about Lee all day.
Yeah.
One of my favorite people.
well, you know what I mean. But he's musically he's left such an impact on me in the way that I make music and stuff. And so, when you told me when I was at the gathering with you that you all like live together and stuff and all that, like I kind of just like was beside myself of like, wow, man, like what a small world. Because he's from the opposite side of the world, And that's
It was crazy. Actually, like I had just found him on, like from SoundCloud, and people being like, "Yo, he's like next up. He's the most genius producer ever. I think he's gonna come to the States soon." And then he got booked to this festival, Zen Awakening, which I was also playing. So I think I got to see the first Chi set in the
Wow.
States too. But we didn't even know each other yet, though. I just had like discovered his music. I didn't ever expect to be like boys with him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the world is so small, dude. It's crazy.
That's just so cool. I think like the big thing with that too is that I feel like you all have such a similar vibe, of like, man, positivity. Everybody's super like chill and super mellow and all that. And I'm just like, it just makes sense when you think about it. Like, it's crazy how it came together, but seeing how everybody is, it's just like, damn, I feel like this should have happened, like a decade ago.
Yeah.
And I guess for you all have known each other for a long time, but so sorry. Anyways, I thought that was really cool. And, it's really always really awesome to get in contact with you. Because fuck, I've known you forever. But what I did want to talk about was exactly what you brought up a few minutes ago. You released an album last year and you did a crazy amount of touring. I do want to talk about the album first, if you're okay, if you're down for that. I kind of, first of all, like, how do you have a description about like how you would describe your music? I know your music, but just for people out there that might not have ever heard you before.
I really don't. It's pretty much like every genre that inspires me, and I'm always trying to tackle new things. But like the main vision is to have like an orchestra playing with me while I'm DJing bass music beats. And I love piano. That's like a lot of the soul of my music, I guess, because it's like I've been playing piano for so long and just teaching myself that I have so many riffs in my head that have amounted throughout the years, and it's kind of like I'll play one riff, and it's funny, the way I play piano is kind of like tricking. Like once I started tricking, it helped me think about like how there's tricking combos. You can do a corkscrew into a gainer into a rap full. I'm like, oh, I can do this riff from when I was 12 into this one I just did it when I was 18. Into this or
Wow,
something,
that's
you know what I mean?
wild. Yeah.
So like when I'm piano soloing over my music and a lot of my melodies, it's just like my life story, I guess, kind of. And it trips me out, dude. It takes me back and stuff. I actually I wrote a new song, and it just got me out of a funk, and it just like brought me back to feeling like myself and stuff. Like it kind of like saves my life. But yeah, I don't know. The sound of my music it's almost kind of like a cry for help, for lack of a better word, of like,
I feel you.
why is there so much suffering on this world? And it kind of can sound a little sad, but there's like this element of like, but let's get it together and let's be hopeful because it could be like a better world and shit. So that's what I'm trying to hit somehow.
And something that, from my own personal view of all the songs that I've listened to, even though you talk about like the desolation aspect of maybe the intent behind the music, everything that you make is always really easy to listen to. And I think that's part of why a lot of people resonate with it, because it's something that, like, how do I say this? It comes from you. It comes from within. And I think that because you have such a good connection with that, it's very easy to identify. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's what
Yeah,
I
no, that's
get.
cool.
Yeah,
Thanks for
yeah,
saying that, man.
definitely. Because it is very different. And you know, I have quite a few projects from you actually, but what's it called? The approach to it is that there's always some kind of improvisation, I feel, within your tunes, and that's kind of where
Hmm.
you're like, all right, here is the setup for the scene, and then here is like my own personal thoughts on it. Whenever you're doing like your own jamming and stuff, not to like throw anything out there, but you sent me some stems a while ago. I've got 3 different versions of that, so I haven't given up on that.
Let's go.
I've got 3 different versions of it, but I don't like any of them because I don't feel like it does it justice. So I'm trying to like align how to meet up with what you were wanting to do without destroying the song, and I haven't figured out a way to do it justice yet. So I just wanted to update you with that. Um,
Oh, that's cool. Also, destroy the song. Like, go for it. It's all good.
no, I appreciate it,
And
man, but I don't know. It matters to me because that's the only thing that you and I have actually been able to sit down and do together outside of
I bet
that.
I'm gonna love all 3 versions too. By the way, please send me
Oh,
those when you can.
okay, I will. And with this new perspective that I was talking to you about earlier with how I've been making music, it might be a little bit easier, but I have 100% intention on finishing that. I just want to make sure that it's something that you're going to feel good about, outside of just,
Oh yeah, for sure.
oh, here's some
Yeah.
bullshit. So I don't know. I'm a perfectionist like that, so I apologize, but
No,
um
no, I love that. Yeah, I don't put out music. I don't like.
yeah,
So,
exactly. And I
hell
would
yeah.
never expect you to. And honestly, like if I do send you something and you're not into it or whatever, I don't care. It's just really cool that we were able to play together.
Yeah, dude.
Um
Yeah, yeah. Your beats are so insane, dude. Yeah, like, I look up to you. You inspire me, and I can't wait to
Shit, man. Thank you.
like learn a bunch of tricks from you and shit. Cause yeah, I've been like really hungry for like some new sound design type things. Like
Yeah.
yeah, I'm stoked.
And we said this outside of the interview, but like I said, man, like just let me know. I'll make time for you. You're my bro,
Thanks, man.
dude. I'm so happy to have you here. Not that I'm trying to wrap up this conversation because we have a lot more to talk about, but just as a forewarn and putting that out there, dude. I miss you, bro. I hope that you're doing awesome.
Yeah,
So
likewise. It was awesome to get a call from you last night.
yeah, yeah. Call me anytime, man. So what I guess, like, did you have a concept behind the most recent album that you put out? Was there like any kind of like major theme, or was it just a collection
Yeah.
of things? Or that's kind of what I'm curious about.
Yeah, so since my manager was like, let's do a G Space Live tour. Be cool if you did an album with it. And I was like, okay, I guess I can see what I got, you know? And we
Yeah.
just kind of picked some songs from that were unreleased and threw them together. My whole thing with the second Renaissance is like I've been talking about that with like my dad for years, and it's like there's been all types of renaissances on the planet, but I guess it's more so saying like there's another renaissance happening right now of just like all art forms, and like a lot of it has to do with the internet and access to technology, and it'd be cool if it like took over the planet and but like in a cool way rather than just like
Yeah.
everything becoming like
Dystopian.
smart city AI
Right.
shit. But yeah, either way, like it's just a great time to be alive. There's so much potential to just for like amazing art right now. So that was the whole concept.
Man,
And
that's so
yeah.
cool. I'm sorry, bro. I didn't mean to interrupt. You excite me, and so I'm just like, oh, I got thoughts. Um,
Oh yeah, go for it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
no, that's so cool that you said that though. Like I recently put out a video when I was talking about this. It's more so specific to production, but I was talking about this renaissance of sampling because since the 80s and stuff, obviously, like I don't want to tell you anything that you already know, but like people were really into like sourcing outside stuff and like trying to find ideas from these other artists and stuff, and that's still a thing today. But I feel like with everyone that I've talked to that has been, at the forefront of sound design and stuff, and with a lot of tools that have come out recently, I feel like, people have been doing this for years, but resampling and like coming up with stuff on your own and figuring out how to twist your own stuff, to me, has been my own personal renaissance for music production, or for completely rethinking how I approach making music now. And it was honestly Rolling Sampler and I guess a couple of other things that really kind of put the stuff into perspective. But I don't know. It's I guess that's just one like
Yeah.
key example of kind of what you're talking about with technology and stuff. But it's such a beautiful thing, and it's like, man, yeah. If you get the chance, take a look at the last video that I posted, um, because I go into stuff like that, and it's I'm in such a happier place with making tunes because I don't have to try so hard now.
Dude, that's funny you say that because like Saruda changed my life like years ago. This is actually a hilarious story. He ended up at Nick Fry's house with
Oh,
with
no shit.
Schlump. Yeah, and it was hilarious because Nick Fry produces too, and
He does?
I got him to come. Yeah, yeah, he makes like really cool dubstep and stuff.
I had no idea.
I know, right? You know, he was supposed to be a Galaxy Gathering too, but I think he was just having a kid, and he was like, "I literally it'd be the worst timing." but but yeah. Anyways, like I forget how many years ago. This might be like 7 years ago at this point.
Wow.
I was playing this festival in New York. Nick Fry came to it. Got to meet a bunch of dope producers. We chill with like Liquid Stranger, Slump, Saruda, Lucid, and
Hmm.
but then yeah, it was called Cosmic Alignment. Shout out Cosmo, he threw that. And but anyways, there was a point at the end of the tour where everybody was going home, and Schlump and Cerruto were on an RV tour, and they were like, I don't know, they're like, we don't really want to chill on an RV for like a week until next weekend for an extra round of shows. And I was like, oh, Nick, is it cool if they come over your crib? And he was like, yeah. And Nick Fry's parents are super cool too. They all
Yeah.
met them. We hung up for like a whole week. It was hilarious. But anyways, at this time in my life, I was like, dude, what synths are you using to make your sounds? And like Serta's like, I don't use any synths. And I was like, that's impossible. There's no way you can make sounds like that without synths. And
Right.
he's like, it's all us resampling, like just sampling anything. And I'm like, where do you get all these high quality audio samples to like rework? And he's like, I don't. I look for the most low quality audio samples possible on
Right.
YouTube. And then I like just put so many effects on them and resample, and like that shit changed my life too. That was a whole ass like renaissance for me too. I was like, there's no way.
That's so cool, man. A couple
Yeah.
things with that. If anybody doesn't know, well, actually, I don't think anybody here knows who Nick Fry is, but he was one of the first people to do standing double backflip. If not, what I don't think he was the first, but he's one of the first
Dude, he
people.
was the first on grass that
Yeah,
there's any video of, at least for videos. But yeah.
yeah. So he was the first person to reiterate, the first person to do a standing double backflip on grass on film. Um,
So insane.
Yeah, dude, Nick is nuts, and now he's got kids and doing all that stuff. So it's really amazing to me that like I actually did. I had no idea that 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 was going on. And Nelson and oh my God, what's his name?
Mike.
Yeah, and Mike McGuire. Those guys are blowing up too. Um,
Yeah, so it's hilarious because like they both have their solo projects. Like Nelson is Hideaway, Mike
mhm.
is Towers, and then their duo project is Cavemen. And right now they're like going all in on Cavemen. Like they're just like pushing it super hard. It's doing so well.
Yeah, and they make
So
cool stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool, man. I'm glad to see everybody making it and whatnot.
Oh yeah, they actually opened up two stops for me on the second Renaissance tour
Oh,
in
really?
Cali.
Nice, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, dude, that's fucking small world. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I actually just posted a video that if Saruda sees this, I sent the song to you, but I remixed one of his tunes. We in the
Oh yeah, I was gonna tell you I'm gonna send that to him.
Yeah, I almost wonder though if that was a social faux pas because I wasn't trying to necessarily like, be like, hey, it was more so of like this is a unofficial remix, and if he sees it, then I'll put it out. But I don't know how to explain that. But if you talk to him and he's offended by it, let me know. I'll take it down, okay? Because I don't want to step on anybody's toes.
I wanted to show him how dope it was. That was sick.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll let you know if he gets back to me on that.
yeah, no worries, man. But I agree. Thomas or Saruda is also somebody that definitely influenced. What I love is just like how dynamic his compositions are and how he expresses it through hip hop. I feel like
Hmm.
he is somebody that is making incredible innovations to the hip hop world and has been since, he started putting stuff out. I think was his first album Drum Sand, I want to say. Um and then he put out Move, I think. And
Oh yeah, dude.
dude, Move
Move
was
Move is one of my favorite records.
It's incredible. And your music has a lot of that, and I guess that's where I'm drawing parallels because your music has a lot of that. I think that a lot of your stuff
That's
is
crazy
is
to even say. It's probably because I listen to him all the time that there might be some things that like he's influenced me of.
yeah, but like I would never be like, yo, you sound like Saruda because you sound like G Space. But at the same
Yeah,
time, we're all kind of, at least in my hopes and stuff, is to all kind of influence each other and be like, oh, I really like what you're doing, and like
yeah.
figure out. There's this beat that Lee sent me, and it was like some bullshit, and I told him, I was like, bro, I've been trying to recreate your fucking beat for like 6 months, and I just can't fucking figure it out, and we both had a laugh over it. But you know what I mean? That's kind of the fun of the inspiration and stuff. And it just goes to show like how insane people are, just like everybody has certain things that you just can't replicate, that you just can't do, and you might end up like making your own expression of it, but that's the beauty behind the individuality behind those things. Sorry, tangent stuff, but
Yeah,
I don't know, it's
I love it.
profound. um so sorry, I knew that at some point I was gonna get off on thoughts and jump off and whatnot, but um
Yeah, I love it.
so man, you did 60 shows or 60-ish shows last
Yeah,
year.
I mean, maybe more, but
Holy
because it
shit.
was pretty much this the second Renaissance was like a few months at first, and then there was like part two of that,
Yeah.
for another 3 months. So like I might have even done more shows before that too. But yeah, it all just ended like around New Year's, and oh, I actually have to tell you about something I did. Like first week of January, I actually got an opportunity to throw a fest at a ski resort, which was another really cool thing to combine like those worlds.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could talk about that after if you want. But
Yeah, sure.
yeah, I did so many shows, and it was actually the most exhausting year of my life. Like I've never hit full exhaustion where I was like, oh my god, is my body shutting down? Like
Yeah, like
from
Dunzo.
being this exhausted, it was actually so concerning. But yeah, it's like I have to eat healthy and sleep, and sometimes it's like impossible on the road. It's not impossible, but it gets really hard, and then especially with the way my live tour was, I'd have to make sure I fly out. Um, I didn't have a tour bus. I didn't have anything like that. I just had Ubers and airports and hotels, which is great and all, but not when like you get out of the show and it's like already 3 or 4 a.m. and I had to get a 6 a.m. flight because it was the only one that could get me like to the next city in time for sound check because I'd have to show up hours early to sound check, and then I'm like, wait, I'm like really not sleeping enough. Like this is crazy. So
Yeah,
it
it's
was rough, but I made it to all the tour stops, thank God. Um, we didn't have to cancel any shows, and like people came out, the promoters around the country all seemed pretty happy. Like it was really fun.
that's so cool, man. I mean, you
Yeah.
must have worked your ass off for that because, I haven't done touring for music production, but I did tour for Marvel Universe Live, and the crazy thing was that, and one of the major differences was like there would be times to where we would have like 3 shows in a day back to back or whatever, but we always had at least like 3 days off to do nothing. But to think about having to be like, ask yourself the question almost every time you get to a new city of, do I try to sleep for 3 hours and wake up and then catch the flight and then try to find
Like,
this catch up time to sleep, and then I'm also supposed to like go eat somewhere or something? Like, I could
yeah,
definitely see how like the reality of that and how like hard that does become
yeah.
on your body. So I mean, like, I'm kind of curious, like, what was your strategy to be able to be like, how did you plan, or how did you find times to even like find a place to get food?
Um, I mean, sometimes the promoters were nice enough to just like pick me up at the airport, and or like whoever they hired for artist transport, and they would bring me to a restaurant or something, or I'd be ordering food to my hotel,
Hmm.
and I have snacks in the green room. But yeah, it was just super random, not consistent at all. And
Yeah.
I've kind of been living like this for years. Like I've kind of been like a nomad, but that last year was the most intense like touring I've ever done. And then I think there's a lot that comes with this new pressure now of like being on my own headline tour and playing rooms like by myself for the first time rather than like being support for someone else, because it's a whole nother level of stress and pressure, like just hoping like everything goes right. And especially with the equipment, they would rent me different equipment every show because
Oh
it
shit.
wasn't really that specific. It was just like an electric guitar and a MIDI keyboard and like and whatever they could find. They
And
rented a
CDJs or
guitar
something.
center.
Yeah.
So I was like, I hope everything works. Like it. So it was more so the mental anxiety too. I think that was really like exhausting me. So that it was crazy, but it was also hilarious when the tour started. I was like, I should probably plan like a set that I do all tour,
Mm-hmm.
and because the whole last like decade, I've just been improvising every night when I DJ. I just have a folder of all my music and I just improvise because, and that used to give me anxiety, but now it's just like whatever. I'm happy that I can change the vibe and if I need to, or just discover things on stage live and like kind of make myself laugh and like it's just more fun for everyone. It feels like that way.
Yeah, it's
And
a
then
show.
yeah, and then I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to do that with like a keyboard and guitar though. And but pretty much I just like went through all my music, took the piano parts out of the songs and the guitar parts out of the songs, so I could just do it live. And then by the first day of the tour, it snuck up on me, and I was like, I guess I'm just gonna improvise and see how this goes. And
Mm-hmm.
like, it actually went better than I thought, so I just kept improvising the live shows too. So it
That's
was it
cool,
was
man.
cool. Yeah,
I think that listening to being able to overcome, like, because that's a really big thing, because like I even for me, like, I've only played out a couple of shows, and you were one of them. And I'm not ashamed to say that like I have zero experience with DJing and stuff, so I just put a live set together within Bitwig because I didn't want to fuck up, or I didn't want to do that. So I've seen you mix personally. Oh, and I have to tell this fucking story because it was so fucking cool, because you actually ran into a technical issue during your set at the Circus of Life gathering. Uh, Let me tell the story because I gotta talk. I gotta say how cool this was. Okay, so all of the trickers and all of the other producers were in this like kind of like, I don't want to say a barn, but maybe it was a barn. But we were all there watching Grady perform, and for some reason the sound goes out and everything stops working. So there's like, mind you, like Andy R is like chilling on a tent on stage and stuff, and like he kind of peers out and everybody's kind of looking around, and there's a live drummer that's over there on the side, and Grady goes, yo, kick a beat, and then he starts rapping, just totally starts freestyling until the sound comes back on, and then he continued to play through the whole thing. So like when you say improvise, you're dead on of like, yeah, you're improvising. And that was some G shit, because you knew what you had to do in order to keep the show going. The show must go on, blah blah blah. But that was some really cool shit, and I will never forget that.
dude, thanks, man. Yeah, my shout out my boy Aaron, Zone Drums, because
Mm,
he had just played right before me with his band. I think that was a 5 a.m. trio set because
yeah.
he's in a few bands, but yeah, he ended up becoming like my drummer for some of these G Space live stops. He would just improvise with me sometimes,
Oh, cool.
like whenever we could make it happen. Um, yeah, no, that was hilarious.
Yeah, man. I just like, I think that something that I admired, and I think that like we all have a little bit of this, especially if you're a tricker of like, the confidence, like, throwing your life against the floor and stuff to commit to send it, but watching I don't know if you were having any kind of anxiety at the time, but you're just like, it's okay. Hey, we'll just do this. And then, you know what I mean? It'll be super chill. And just like the way that you handled that situation was um, extremely suave, for lack of better
Nice.
vocabulary.
That's funny. I guess I was just kind of like that whole weekend. I was improvising so much that at that point, like, there's so many other things I had to, like problems with the fest I had to fix. I was like, oh, this is easy. I'll just like, I guess Aaron's right there. Like, we don't need power for a drum set. I guess,
Yeah,
like Aaron. And then I didn't really know what else to do either. I was like, I guess I'll rap some like
right. That was super
freestyles
cool.
from like high school that I used to like actually really want to be a rapper and still do kind of like even even though I'm like not really in the rap world and I'm a white boy, but I love rap so much, and it used to be one of my passions in high school. I would just be like so inspired listening to rappers, and then just like manically staying up writing like rhyme schemes and verses and things.
Hmm.
But I still haven't been able to lock in like my sound or my vocal processing, but I hope I do one day, and I hope it's accepted by everyone and people like it because you can say a lot with words and stuff, and it'd be so cool to produce my own rap songs. I've been doing it a little bit here and there. I rapped on the second Renaissance album on one. I made like a drill beat with some dubstep noises and
Yeah.
rapped about not selling my soul.
Right. That's so cool, man. I have a beat that I'll send you. Because I've got so much shit that I'm sitting on that I'm just like trying to find labels to and whatnot. And, because I'm in that in between of like nothing's officially released, I'll go back and work on it. And then, you know what I mean? And then, keep trying to submit things and whatnot. But I do have this one tune called Limit Break where I did the same thing where I rap, but I hate the sound of my voice. And so what I did was I tried to focus on the content of the lyrics, and then I just like did altering to my voice to make it sound the way that I wanted it to. And that way I don't really like, we're producers, right? So we can do that of like, if we don't like the way that we project, and I think that like delivery and also confidence is a huge piece of it too. But
Yeah.
man, and like if you've ever seen uh how how Lee changes his vocals and stuff, and you look at all the processing behind that and whatnot, and I'd be happy to show you how I do it and stuff. Like there's so much other creative shit that you can do that like starts with a rap but then becomes an instrument, if that makes sense, to where like
Hmm.
you can focus on specific phrases that have a lot of power and meaning and then use everything else as like rhythmic pieces and stuff. It's really neat, and it's a really fascinating thing. And I don't know, like I didn't necessarily like want to get too into production with this talk, unless if you want to, but there's this thing about having vocals in a song that Aiden Cage taught me about, how it helps make everything immediately more relatable because somebody is speaking, and how our ears naturally attenuate towards whatever whenever there's a voice
That's true.
on a track. And so it doesn't even necessarily have to be like, something super profound, but if it's there and it's present, then it's a lot easier for people to, I guess I'm being redundant, but relate to the music. And I was like, wow,
Yeah.
that's really smart. Shout out to Aiden, man. Aiden Cage. He's one of the South African people. Love you, bro. He's I don't know if you had the chance to meet or talk with him, but that guy's a genius.
I haven't. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah. Have you gotten in contact with Zane by chance? Do you know Zane Wolf?
I'm not sure. I sounds familiar.
That's okay.
Sorry if I'm blanking.
No, no worries. So Zane Wolf and Aiden are both from, and John Casey. They're all from pretty much from the same town in South Africa, and they're all like Lee's really
Yeah.
close friends, and they all actually made
Yeah,
music
I've
together.
met John.
So
Sounds awesome.
I've never talked to John, but I that's actually how I got in contact with Lee. Was I met Aiden.
That's probably how I've heard of Zane and Aiden then.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
I'm sure because they're all really good friends, and I absolutely adore them. They're just, man, I've
Oh
got
yeah.
nothing but positive things to say about them. Shout out to you all if you all check this out, and yeah, I love you guys. So yeah, in any case, man, like that's just so crazy. I'm kind of curious now, like there's a lot of like changes and whatnot that, and we don't need to talk about the bad about it if you don't want to, or you can tell us whatever you want to, but I'm kind of curious as to like what your intentions are for future plans and like what you want to do in the coming years or the coming, this year, your long-term goals, short-term goals with how you want to project your music, but also like how you want to project your own project as far as G Space brand.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
The end goal, or not the end goal, but like the main goal I've had for a while is G Space Orchestra and or G Space Symphony, whatever that ends up being. But just like it'd be so cool to have a full string section, horn section, and a
Yeah.
choir, and a piano, and still like have the CDJs. Like it'd even be cool to have like a grand piano type thing where the CDJs are like on top of
A
piano,
piano. Yeah.
and then also like have a conductor, whether if it's me, but yeah, I just want to mostly just because I want to hear how that would sound, really dial that in because I think it could be a beautiful sound with also subwoofer like Tennessee sound or something crazy. I don't know,
Yeah.
voids like voids and or something insane, and just hear what that would sound like with the sub frequencies in an orchestra. So that's hopefully gonna happen one day. I'd probably have have to get a lot of volunteers. Maybe even I know Odessa started out just having college students music programs. They'd
Hmm.
reach out to them, see if anybody wanted to volunteer, and kids would be stoked. So that maybe I could do that at first because it's really expensive to like hire the Philharmonic Orchestra or
Of
something.
course. Do you
Like I've yeah.
do you know how to translate music as far as like classical notation?
No, so I can't, I like quit lessons when I was a kid. I kind of got put back in them a little bit in college and then quit that too.
Hmm.
And but the best thing I ever found out was like all of the MIDI notes um that in Logic there's like this button you can just press score and it scores everything.
Oh, sick.
Um
Yeah.
and I use MIDI to write like all my strings and horns and piano and everything. So I'm like, oh, okay, so I can write music by just playing it. That's fine. Thank God for that. And there's an even better program, I guess, called Sibelius, where you just drag the MIDI file into there. And I've
Hmm.
heard from other orchestra composers that they use that convert through MIDI notes.
That's what my partner
So
Corey uses. She's a classically trained composer, and I was
yeah,
going to tell you that she's. I don't want to like put her business out there because I don't know if it's secret or not. But she's working on some projects and stuff, and she's actually problem solving the same stuff that you are. And I bet that she would be able to like give you some ideas or points of directions about what it is
oh,
that
dude,
you're.
no way. That helps so much. Thanks for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely link us.
Dude, Corey's dope. She's been on the show several times. Sometimes she hangs out with me on stream. But like I said, man, like if you ever come out to visit and stay with us, like you're staying with a nerd that does sound design, and then you're staying with a real musician is what I would say because she plays piano. She's not a classically I
Dude,
wouldn't
that
yeah, yeah, I wouldn't
oh,
say that
oh,
she's a classically
dude,
trained
that's
pianist,
insane.
but she is a classically trained composer. And I think that I don't know. I talk about you all the time to her, and so she knows all about you. But
I got a really good feeling about that when you said that. Like, who knows? Maybe she'd want to help G Space Orchestra become reality or something. Who knows? Because like either way, I'm trying to do it one day. But I would love to pick her brain. That's awesome.
yeah, I bet that she, would even be able to, assuming that she, I mean, I'd have to okay it with her and stuff. I'm sure that she'd be down to do it, but it would be really cool if, she could even look over your composition and be like, hey, what if you did this, or like actually give you like real compositional feedback, if that makes sense, about notation
Oh,
and like how like things are supposed to be played. And that's why I love talking to her about that stuff because she knows all the things about music that I don't, if that makes sense.
yeah, it sounds like it. I'd love to talk to her.
Yeah, man, she's super cool. Love you, honey. She's at work right now, but I'm sure that she'll take a look at this and at some point. But no, man,
That's awesome.
I think that's also awesome that you're trying to go in that direction, and I love that. Like, I'm starting to. I've never heard, other than like I don't know, like Metro Boomin or something, but that's a whole different deal. I think that yours is going to be so much more of a musical thing as opposed to, oh, let me orchestrate this beat that I made, you know. But
Yeah.
being able to
Yeah.
marry those compositions and whatnot is something that I hope that more producers and musicians and stuff get into, because I feel like for a long time there's been this battle of like there has to be one or the other, you know, or like there's a hint of orchestration within this specific beat or something like that, but it's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like the bridge I don't is very rarely crossed, and so I'm really excited to see what you have going on with that. My next question for you is, when are you coming to Vegas?
I don't have anything booked right now.
Oh, yeah, I was kind of half kidding, but I was saying like, bro, come out, like, come to Vegas.
Dude, oh yeah, let's do it. Well, the only reason I mentioned something booked because I feel like I end up there like every few months anyways. So like, I'm sure you'll be seeing me soon.
Yeah, yeah. Well, something that you can consider too is, you know, we could, if you want to come out and you want to stay, then perhaps you could hang out here. I could take you to like Zion over in Utah, and then what's it called? And then we can go to California and visit all your friends there, and then come back and then make sure that, you know, you get where you need to go or whatever. But everything is so close out here in Vegas. LA's only
Dude,
like,
that'd be so sick.
yeah, LA's only like 4 hours away. So, um,
Yeah, no, I'd love to do something like that. Like, the weekdays for me are usually the most free because it's been kind of crazy every weekend. So
yeah.
like, yes, maybe I could come up like on a Monday or something before my show, or vice versa, depending on where I'm coming from. But yeah, it'd be so sick.
I mean, I'm sure that, you know, you'll probably be playing over at Disco Pussy again at some point in time or whatever. So, you know, maybe during that time, if you kind of plan out of like, hey, I'm going to stay an extra couple of days or something, then we could run it and we could, you know, catch up
Yeah, that'd be
on
awesome.
tunes or something, or, you know,
Dude, thanks so much. Thanks for the invite. That would be so much fun.
bro, like, man, it's crazy to think about this, but like we've been friends for like a decade. Um,
I know, right?
I can't
It's
believe I've
nuts.
known you that long. It's fucking crazy. And I'm just so happy that you're doing all these cool and crazy things. And I've learned so much from you, both from a musical perspective, but also like being able to have a little bit of perspective about what your life is like and what my life could be if, you know, I crossed that threshold. And I don't know if that's something that I would ever be ready for, but it's really cool to be able to still contact you and be like, hey, let's have a chat once in a while, because you are really busy. Like, I don't think that people in chat realize like how much you've done and how much you're doing and how busy you actually are. And that's why I say, like, dude, thank you so much for taking the time to like come kick it with me for a bit and, you know, just kind of chop it up. It means a lot.
Dude, yeah, it means a lot. Right back at you. Like, this is awesome, and thanks for all you do for the community. Like,
Ah, man,
it's awesome, dude.
I appreciate that.
For all the communities.
Yeah, I talked to Nick Vale recently, and we're kind of all on the same path about like, you know, no, we're not at the forefront of tricking anymore, but we're still kind of in the shadows, you know, like doing stuff and trying to promote it. And I think that one of the things that I was afraid of was that the community as it grows and whatever, especially with tricking, was going to kind of like dwindle. But I'm so impressed to see how much stronger it's getting and how it's still continuing on this like amazing positive path. And for somebody like Nick Vale, actually like doing like real business moves and stuff and creating an industry for tricking and whatnot, it's almost like, I don't want to say it's an obligation, but it's like we still have more work to do. You know what I mean? And we can still make a big
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah, that's cool. I gotta catch up with Nick sometime soon.
Yeah, yeah. He's doing financial advising, and if anybody out there needs financial advising, he's part of a fiduciary firm, and so like he will like give you all the advice and like information you need without trying to sell you anything, and won't charge you, unless if you decide to invest with them or something. But he is He's Nick, you know what I mean? He's Nick, and he's like big brother to me.
Actually heard about that. He was giving Alex Hunter like some help with that. Some
Yeah, he
ideas.
he helped me out for sure. Like he got me
That's
super,
tight.
yeah, he got me super educated on investments and like how to manage money better and how to like build a plan and all that. And I was like, whoa, shit, I didn't even know that all this stuff existed. So, I'm not gonna
Yeah, I
be
should look
like,
into that.
yeah, I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I know everything about investing, but he gave me enough information to, actually like try to set up a plan for the future. And I think that's
Hmm.
extremely valuable because there's almost like no, unless if you seek it, there's like no education of like how to even figure half of that stuff out.
I love it.
Yeah. So at this point in time, because it's we kind of hit the hour, and I don't want to keep you too long, and there's some stuff that I want to obviously like kind of geek out on for a couple of minutes after we hop off. But does anybody in chat have any questions for G Space? I appreciate you all coming in and hanging out and stuff, and more people are going to obviously see this as time goes on. But it was kind of like a last minute deal. So usually I like give people a few days and be like, yo, who's coming on? So I appreciate you being spontaneous about that. But yeah, does anybody have any questions for G Space or like anything in particular while we have him live? Because this is kind of rare, which you can come back anytime you
They're
want.
coming out.
Yeah, you can come back anytime, but I have you now here in this moment. So
Yeah. Also, if I want to tell you about this thing real quick too.
yeah,
This, I guess, when you're asking about like future plans for G Space and stuff. So like this show I'm doing Friday in Oklahoma City is gonna be a DJ set, and it showcases more of like my heavier type, dark, deep dubby, shades inspired like type music, I guess, which is
mm-hmm.
cool. And also with like low lighting and no phones type vibes. Like they're not gonna be super strict with the no phones, but like it's almost like encouraged to like people not having their phones out and like and dim lighting and not crazy like no production on stage for like as far as lights and lasers go. It's just
Yeah,
more of like a musical experience. And then
that's awesome.
so like those are gonna be called dark matter sets.
Oh,
So
sweet.
now I have a few little outlets, and then I'm playing like a G Space Live set on Saturday, the day after in Philly. So it's all over the place, which is cool. But then the other cool dream I have. Sorry, I'm just telling. I just want to like say
No,
things
please,
and
man, tell
hopefully
us.
inspire people.
Yeah, yeah, tell us.
But I want to make it like a fantasy factory warehouse type thing where it's like a tricking gym and then skate park and then music studio rooms and maybe even a little music venue that we could have like shows at. But just something like that and like for the community would be so cool. So it's almost like a I don't know, just for like tricking music school type vibes and physical education, whatever. But that's the next dream I'm having, and
Yeah.
I hope it can happen because that would make me so happy to even live in a spot like that or just set them up in different communities and help kids like stay off the metaverse or iPads or whatever.
Yeah, no, for sure, dude. Tell me about it. I think that I think providing a place that people can cultivate, because like before I started doing all this, before I started even doing Cirque, I was running a martial arts school over in Oklahoma City for a while, and you know about that stuff, but a place that people can come and cultivate, so having some kind of, I don't want to call it a duplex because I like the idea of fantasy factory like way more. That sounds way more exciting. But a place that you can fill it with all of these programs of all these skill sets that you have and figure out a way to integrate them is like a really fucking cool thing. And I'm sure somebody out there is ready to, is going, they're going to find you, because I know that you know how to do that. And if you ever need help like building curriculum or, you want to talk about programs and stuff, you can always reach out to me as well, whether it be for like tricking stuff or for music production or anything that you want to do. Maybe not skateboarding because that's not my thing, but you get what I
Yeah,
mean.
no, of course. That's why I wanted to mention that too, because I'm sure like just to have like seeds planted in you and like all the homies, like I want to talk to Nick too. Yeah, who knows? There's so much stuff. Me and Isaiah have been talking about a lot about it. It's a
Yeah.
dream. They just actually got a like a spring floor given to them. Isaiah and his boys, and it's the original Loop Kicks floor
No
or gym.
way.
I'm pretty so, like the universe literally went full circle there.
Wow.
I forget exactly how it just happened, but he called me all stoked, and it's like, damn, I wish we had like the warehouse already. There's our tricking floor, but yeah, life is really cool when you just like can focus in on creative endeavors because it's been like so many ups and downs for all of us, you know.
Right.
But yeah, this shit keeps me going. Just thinking of like a future like that or something.
Forgive me, but what was Isaiah's producer name again?
Hemp milk.
Did he just did he just change that?
No, it's just I'm pretty sure it's still hemp milk, and there's no vowels, so it's HMPMLK, which
Okay.
is funny.
I'm gonna write that down. I thought
But
that he was going
but
under
he
something different.
I think he used to go by Read, Write, Speak, Type too. He's actually had so many aliases, and he's been in a lot of bands. He's had a lot of bands over the years. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's super knowledgeable in so many things, and he's kind of like talk about sensei of music, right? Because how many like
Yeah.
people did he bring up? I know that he taught Mike. I know that he taught Nelson. Um, I,
hmm
who else was living at the Lukic's house that he was cultivating at the time?
With like music.
Yeah,
Well, like what was crazy is like Cody Wilson.
yeah,
Like
Cody Wilson. Yeah,
he got like obsessed with DJing and like yeah, they all like pretty much taught me how to use CDJs because they bought like an old pair of CDJs one day, or Cody did, and like it was like Cody, Nelson, Mike, Isaiah all ripping CDJs, and I didn't even know how to DJ yet either. I just used virtual DJ, and
hmm
like it was funny. Like I was doing that first, and then I was like, how the hell does any of this work? So I pretty much learned to use CDJs from them and a couple other homies in Florida, like Ollie Mumbles and stuff, blah blah blah. But yeah, it's dude, Isaiah's been making music for so long, and it's crazy how he started Loop Kicks
yeah.
pretty much with his homies, and like all the tricking that in the Bay Area that just changed the game, and like it's just insane.
He's definitely a trailblazer for a lot of stuff that I feel like
It's
that you
insane,
and I are
actually.
doing. Yeah. And what's even crazier is I feel like he's super low key about it, but um,
I know.
he's an incredible
Oh
resource for
yeah,
this kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. He's so deep in the film game too. He's like such a
Right. Yeah.
talented
True.
like film guy, and he's worked on so many sets, and he filmed a music video for me in Towers, and literally was so cinematic. Like he's so dope with his stuff. But yeah, we're even talking about maybe working together on a show. Like I've been writing this show with Alex Hunter for like 7 years, and it's pretty much a sketch comedy type show of me and Alex Hunter just being washed up has been trickers, and like we peaked in 2011,
That's
and we're just
awesome.
train wrecking, and
Ye-
I'm trying to make it as a DJ, and
Right.
and and it's just like super cringe comedy, but yeah, Isaiah's down to be on board and stuff, and my friend Carlos has been helping try to get it into script form, but yeah, that's that's what me and Isaiah were just talking about the other day.
That's dope,
You
man.
know?
Yeah, definitely keep us updated with that, and please, keep sending me updates and stuff with how me and the rest of the community can support you. Because, like I said, man, you're not only are you putting out really cool music, but like I just really appreciate how much you are putting back into both communities, and it's nice to have somebody kind of like walking a similar path on that front. And that's what I admire about you, bro, because it's not just about it is about the music, it is about the tricks and whatnot, but it's like, you know, I know that you think about this, but like, what kind of person do you want to be remembered when you're not here anymore?
Yeah.
Um, Not to be like morbid or anything, but yeah, I do have one quick.
No, actually, I think that's why I like even put music out and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah,
you never know when we're gonna go, and I want to leave parts of myself behind, and like that. It's like definitely a lot. Like we will live beyond our lives. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I've got one question from chat, and then I have, sorry, I'm dying over here. I've got one question for you from myself, and then we can kind
Hmm.
of wrap up if you're cool with that. But Baxter says, how is it playing live guitar slash multiple instruments slash controllers? Do people respond to it, or does it feel natural and intuitive?
Yeah. So when when I first started like the G Space Live tour, it was yeah, people were responding, and I wasn't even that like good kind of yet because I was like I feel like the song would be running out, and then I wouldn't be able to like get to the CDJ in time, because I'd be like on the piano, and then like I'm like, oh damn, the song, like I forgot to queue up the next song, so that there's just, the song's just gonna end and then it's gonna stop, but then like the song would end and I kind of still riff on the piano a little bit, and then like people would just like cheer and clap, so it almost, it opened up a whole world of kind of like the traditional concert where the music isn't always going the whole time, and then sometimes there's little breaks and it's like the song actually ends and then people like clap, which is funny because it's usually not like that at EDM shows. It's usually just nonstop transitions. If there's a moment of silence, everyone's like, play some music, like what is this?
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what I mean? but
Yeah.
um but yeah, no, I definitely was getting better though towards the end of tour. I was trying new things. Like at one point I would be like, all right, I'm in this E minor song that I'm playing guitar over, and then I'm like, oh, I could go into another E minor song, and I'd be like juggling DJing the tracks while having the guitar, and then going over the piano and kind of doing all three,
Mm-hmm.
which was funny. I was like, felt like it was like turning into like a circus clown, and then my friend was like, "What are you gonna be like, Chris Angel, Mind Freak by the end of G Space Live tour?" So dumb.
What's funny is that was the show that I did in Cirque. I was with him.
No way. I actually caught him in Vegas when I was there, like with Smith,
Really?
like a year ago. Yeah, I used to watch him. Me and my sister used to watch his TV show. The
That's so cool.
Mind Freak.
Yeah, I've got a plaque over here on my wall of our last show when he was still with Circus Soleil, and that was quite an experience. But like I
Dude,
said,
that's
man,
so cool.
fucking small world. Yeah, yeah,
That's literally so cool.
that's insane, man. No, man, that's, man, I had such a good time talking to you. I do have one
Yeah.
quick question that's like more for the audience, and maybe just like
Hmm.
some personal insight, but for people that are trying to maybe follow in your footsteps and maybe trying to, pursue a similar path that you are, because like nobody can be you, but at the same time, I know that there's a lot of people that are in my chat, also in my audience for the YouTube channel as a whole, that want to, I don't know, maybe play shows or maybe do that. I was wondering if you had any advice just of like anything that you've learned over this whole endeavor that you've put yourself through.
Yeah. So I guess like advice for people who want to just follow their dreams of being like a performer or something, or just their own musical dreams or whatever. I don't know. I guess pretty much just like keep going and be persistent, because it's like talent is such an interesting word, but it's like there's so many like talented people. I don't even really like that word because there's a part of me that doesn't even think there is musical talent. I think that deters people away. It's because like
Right. Turns people off.
because like we're all bad until we're not or something, and bad and good is a perspective and stuff, and music's
Yeah.
timeless, so just keep being persistent, and but like remember your why, like why are you doing it. And that was like Charlie Grenhart got me on that
You're the first
back.
person or he's the first person I thought of when you said that. Find your
Yeah,
why.
follow your why.
Yeah.
And like no, because that's it, because it's no matter what happens and how far you get and stuff, and like life is gonna be really complicated, and you can almost get distracted of like why you're even doing it. It's like I used to like not even care about all these problems I'm having, like stressing about shows and business things and all these things, and it's like, am I doing the right thing, am I making the right moves in my career right now? But then I'm like I make one song the other day and it brought me back to feeling like my old self, or like a kid again before I had any of these problems, and I'm like, yo, look how far you've come. Like, like we just have to enjoy the ride out here, and stay grateful, like honestly,
Yeah.
every day, and even through the bad times I'm like, thank you God or universe, whatever. So yeah, I guess that's my advice. And just believe in yourself, and also don't listen to people that like are like just telling you to like not follow your dreams or something like, or like living in fear. Like just go for it. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd much rather have tried and failed than not have tried at all, right?
Yeah, and then failure is actually how you succeed because then you like learn, and then you keep failing and learning and failing and learning. It's whatever.
Right. And on that
Yeah.
note, like that's a whole another can of worms or something. But yeah, I mean, basically, if I can add to that, when it comes into making mistakes and stuff, is like if you're in a state of cultivation, you need to create a situation or an environment to where you can make those mistakes and be comfortable making those mistakes, because that's how you're going to be able to reflect. If you're constantly worried about what that next step is and you are more so concerned about the mistake itself as opposed to what you got from the mistake, then that's where like things get ugly and you stop having fun and you stop enjoying, you know, like Grady is saying, the process. So, you
Yeah.
know, be comfortable with the idea of failure and use it as a booster, you know, to get into the next thing that you're wanting to work on.
Exactly, and I was totally talking to myself right there too, because like this is like an ongoing thing. I have to keep reminding myself these things. Like I've lost myself so many times, or just been like, why am I so stressed about everything? And then it's like, I don't know. But yeah, this industry can be like that. I guess I just think this society in general, like the world, is like at a strange place with like money and fear and whatever the heck is going on, pulling the strings.
Yeah.
But yeah, just keep trying to spread love and bring people together, and just try to just like put yourself in shoes of others, I guess, be open minded to everything, and yeah,
Yeah. And also
cool.
make friends and be good to the friends that you make, you know.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Give me one second. I'm responding to Baxter. I guess I can just tell you, but I left a link to his. There's a link in the description, but there's also a link in the chat of his tricking and stuff with his music that you can go check out. He's a beast. And on that front, I guess this is probably a good time to call it. Grady, dude, I love you so much, man. You're just such a good guy. Uh, Thank you, man. Thank you so much for joining me today. And everybody, please go check out the link in the description at gspacemusic.com. You can see when he's playing his next shows. You can check out the album that he was talking about. You can check out the future releases and all that stuff. He's a busy guy. And dude, like, you're the real deal. You do the real performance thing. You play music. You make music. Like, you are an artist, and that's what I love about you, is that it's really authentic. And that's why I think that people should go see you and should check out your music.
What I love about you too, brother.
Thanks,
Thanks so
man.
much for having me, dude. Yeah, and thanks to the chat for the love, and seems like you've cultivated a really cool like community, man. It's awesome.
Man, I'm so fortunate with this community. These guys are so cool, especially my regulars. Shout out to you all. You guys are dope. We'll have to bring you back sometime soon. And actually, yeah, please, if you got another project that's getting ready to come out and you want to come and talk about it, come on the channel and let's just do what we did today and dissect it and kind of shoot the shit, because I love doing these kinds of things, especially with people that are my friends.
Awesome. I love it, dude. Keep it up.
All right, bro. Well, hang out for just a second, Grady. For the rest of chat, I'm gonna hop off of here, but please support Grady. Please tell him thank you. He's super awesome, and I can't say enough good things about you. But everyone else, I will be live Friday, and then I've got some tutorials that are coming out in the next few days, so there's that. But in any case, thanks everybody. I will see you all very soon, or you can continue the party later in Discord or ask me questions and whatnot. And then I'm going to spend a few minutes with Grady. Bye, everybody. Have a good one. Yo, thanks, man. I